The Federal Reserve made no change today in the federal funds rate range of 5.25% to 5.5% as expected. In the projection materials released today, the Fed did increase its projection for year-end 2024 core PCE inflation to 2.6% from the 2.4% prediction that they made in December 2023 when they last released projection materials. The 2024 PCE price inflation was kept at 2.4%. PCE stands for personal consumption expenditures. Real GDP growth was increased to 2.1% from 1.4% in December. The unemployment rate was decreased to 4% from 4.1%. The dot plot, where the Fed members predict where the federal funds rate will be, 10 out of 17 still predict that the federal funds range will be 75 basis points lower by year end compared to the current 5.25 to 5.5% range. I thought there was a possibility that given the earlier inflation numbers that the Fed would lower its projection for rate increases this year to 50 basis points, but they did not do that. There was a movement by a few Fed members who were calling for a 100 basis point cut in the December projection, which would have taken the range to 4.25% to 4.5%. Four Fed members were in that camp in December and only one now. One Fed member in December was predicting a 150 basis point cut and none are now. So there was a movement up in the current range for the Fed members who were predicting more than a 75 basis point cut. I'm still discounting the likelihood of 3 rate cuts of 25 basis points each this year, or what is known now, which includes the recent higher than expected inflation numbers. And I don't think the revised upward projection in core PCE inflation that the Fed just made to 2.6%, if unchanged, would justify any rate cut unless the economy is signaling the possibility of a major slowdown or recession. Continued GDP growth as predicted by the Fed now, it would militate against a rate cut with that kind of inflation projection, or at most 125 basis point cut, in my opinion. The odds of 2 cuts do increase if inflation returns to a trending down mode, even without worrisome signs in the economy that would justify a rate cut by itself. The CME FedWatch tool has a slight increase in the probabilities of at least a 25 basis point cut on or before the June or July Fed meetings. The odds of at least a 25 basis cut by the July meeting is currently at 81.1%, up from 76% yesterday. That is as of 1:30 Central Standard Time today, March 30th, 2024. I did participate in the 4-month Treasury bill auction today, which I will mention in my next blog. The investment rate was 5.38%, which is in the almost the exact midpoint of the current federal funds rate of 5.25% to 5.5%, and is not consistent with a rate cut at the June meeting, The maturity date is July 23rd, 2024. It does not provide any signal about what the rate, federal funds rate might be in July.